Hey folks, Garrett Monroe here for Tech and Trek at Hiram College. In this short video, we're going to talk a little bit about the idea we've absorbed and we're trying to promote called balancing screen time and green time. This is in response to thinking about mental health and thinking about cognitive bandwidth and so forth. And what can we do as individuals, or indeed what can we do as a community to better manage these things? And so this is really from the perspective of our program, Tech and Trek. And we want to start with a little bit of a statement. It's a tough time right now. A lot of people are really struggling. No amount of adjusting habits or adjusting your screen time or engaging with nature is a fix for needing professional help. So if you're really struggling, if you really feel you need professional help, go and seek it out. And there's great resources on campus here, the health center, and so on and so forth. So, there's no shame in taking care of yourself, and your health is absolutely your top priority. So please seek that. That being said, we're not experts in mental health, but we are experts in technology and cognition and technology and learning. We've got this wonderful program at Hiram where everybody gets an iPad Pro and a pair of hiking boots. And it's really symbolic of a mindset we're trying to promote about using technology intentionally, not just your iPad, but of course your smartphone. And in general, we talk about this idea of screen time. And so, if you step back and think about it, the amount of time we spend on screens, particularly if we're in a mode like pandemic, like lockdown, it is a tremendous amount of our time spent on our digital devices and on our screen time. And so, however, what we found, or what a lot of researchers have found lately, is that this can be really stressful. It can be really anxiety producing to spend so much time on the screen, and it's not exactly optimal. Certainly not optimal for human beings to be doing so. And so, in general, we're trying to find ways for individuals to come up with programs that work for them, for finding a balance between being productive, being creative, and also, of course, socializing, doing physical exercise, spending time in nature, and achieving the goals they want to achieve. So there's a wonderful article we stumbled upon through the course of some research a couple years ago called "Contrasting Screen Time and Green Time," and I cite it here. It was published in 2018, which really sort of solidified a lot of our thinking about mindful technology, what we call mindful technology. So a lot of what we're talking about in the next few slides is going to be pulling from this idea. So one of the ideas is talking about the idea of soft focus versus hard focus. So spending time on our devices, particularly doing focus intensive tasks, studying something or doing something creative work certainly is this, but so too are things that we think about as recreational or leisure time activities like social media, like YouTube. We're in an environment, a really highly stimulating environment, colors, images that are very engrossing, and they engross the whole body. They activate our senses. They start having us calculate things about risk and reward. It turns on almost this hunter and gatherer mindset of scanning the environment for threat, for opportunity, and it clicks our brains into a space that, when held there too long, can be very stressful. And so this idea of hard focus, while evolutionarily was set up to help us scan our environment for threats and opportunities, now it gets turned on when we're watching advertisements on YouTube or scrolling through our Instagram or Facebook or what have you. So not something that we want to be bathing in constantly throughout the day. And yet in small doses is certainly good and helps us make sense of our natural environment and take action. So what's interesting is the converse is actually true of green time, where time in nature facilitates something called a non-threatening green space. We call green time, but you might just think about engaging with nature. Facilitates a cognitive mode called soft focus. Gives us space to reflect on our self-identity anticipate future stressors, to be playful, to think divergently and creatively. It also restores our cognitive faculties, which may have been taxed from too much stress and screen time. So it's just one way. Nature and spending time in the green space is really just one way of restoring taxed cognitive faculties. It's a really powerful way. It's a really powerful way to do this. And it's a really kind of proven technique of doing it. And of course, Hiram has wonderful resources there. So, how do we suggest balancing this? We suggest, monitoring your screen time with an app and utilizing timers to control recreational time on social media, setting limits, setting goals, finding a buddy or a partner or to talk to about this sort of thing. We call accountability buddies to check in. You can also use a color filter. If you install a color filter on your device to make it just black and white, or to remove a lot of the blue or intense hues like red, really stimulating, it can slowly actually over time, studies have been done on this, it shows that people spend less time on their devices when they have those filters up. It becomes less engrossing, almost less addictive. Sometimes people use the language of addiction when it comes to these things. And of course, we're not saying, we want you to throw the phone away and disconnect from the world. Not at all. Some of this is very powerful and very good. So, we can't just be taking away screen time. We need to replace it with something really productive and restorative. And that's where we suggest nature as a really powerful way of doing this. Physical exercise works pretty well, but oftentimes physical exercise these days, we're also spending a ton of time on our phones while doing that. So intentionally putting our phone in airplane mode for a period of time. The first 20 or 30 minutes when you're off your phone can be really actually anxiety producing, can be uncomfortable because it's very new, it's very unusual. Yet after pushing through, for instance, going for a walk in the woods or a hike around campus or something like this, you'll find that this uncomfortableness after 20, 30 minutes begins to kind of go away, and you'll begin to observe a lot of those things we've described that Greentime facilitates, like thinking about tasks at hand, creatively solving problems that you're facing, reflecting on your self-identity. Really, really good stuff. And so there's this wonderful book, and we've taught courses that include this here at Hiram, Tech and Trek inspired courses, where there's a popular press book called The Nature Fix, which brings together a lot of research, academic research and otherwise, on Greentime. And one of the ideas one of the insights that sort of emerged is 5 hours a month seem to be a really magical, or kind of a threshold point at which well-being is really improved by spending time in nature. 5 hours, if you can plan 5 hours a month, it seems to really improve our happiness, our sense of well-being, and so forth in individuals. So, we really recommend breaking this up into chunks of 30 to 60 minutes a few times a week. Once again, Hiram's an awesome place to do this. We've got great trails, resources, the field stations all around campus. We're a rural campus, which has benefits. It has challenges and opportunities as well, certainly. But having quick access to nature is certainly one of those. We call, this is one expression of what we call mindful technology. We have our badge here, and that's expressed with, both the Trek outside the classroom learning in all its different illustrations and expressions, and also the mindfulness drop here for being kind of present and thinking about intentionality and thinking about mindfulness. And so, we really think less is more when it comes to technology. Less is more when it comes to screen time. And it's not just that we want to get you off your devices more. We've provided iPad Pros. We think it's very, very important, but rather balancing your time means that when you're on your device, when you're on task, you're going to be more productive. You're going to feel better about it. You're going to be more creatively solving problems that you're facing. So it seems sort of paradoxical, but scheduling a little bit less time on the device and intentionally spending a little time restoring your faculties, for instance, your cognitive faculties, for instance, by engaging in green time and nature, is certainly one way in which you might be able to enhance your studies and your life to pursue, your work with more joy and curiosity and productivity than if you had to spend that extra time stressing out your screen. So, we encourage you to strap on your boots, stop by the Tech and Trek Center here in the library. We'd love to, chat about this stuff or help you come up with a plan or what have you. And, there's a bunch of opportunities around campus. I just want to highlight one here, our Grand Oak Trail. This is right behind Bonnie Castle, north side of campus. You can go use it anytime. Here's a map. We also have physical maps, a brochure style map you can pick up here in the library. And it's a great 45-minute hike. It's a brisk hike. It's beautiful. And it's a great way to kind of recharge in between classes or after a long day or week of study. So check it out. That's it for now. Thank you so much. And I look forward to seeing you on campus.